Earliest memory in horse racing?
Well, I mean, the first time I went to the races, I went to Liberty Bell with my dad. We were still thoroughbreds back then, because I'm ancient. And it didn't really do a lot for me. And then we moved here in '73 after the Serling meet, so I didn't see Secretariat lose, but went to the harness track, and it still didn't do a lot for me. And then I came here in the summer of '74, and it did a lot for me, and enough that I never really wanted to leave.
What's your favorite moment of all time in this life?
Oh, geez, I don't know. That's a hard one. You know, I mean, there's so many great moments, and you don't want to sort of, boil it down to one. I think one of the most exciting days at Saratoga was Rachel Alexandra winning the Woodward. That was one of the great moments. Moments where friends of mine won big races and being able to be there with them, to experience that with them, those were great moments as well. But I don't want to boil it down to one. I've gotten so many great things out of racing, so much of the great things I've gotten in life. And not just my career, but friends I've made and people I've met. So racing has been really good to me.
For you, right? Who goes down as the best trainer in history?
I don't know. That's hard. I mean, Alan Jerkins is probably the trainer that had the greatest effect on racing. He had so many waves of influence on people in racing in very, very positive ways. And including, getting to know him a little bit, even just in dealing with me. And I can only imagine how great he was with so many people, given how he dealt with me. So I would say Alan Jerkins from that perspective. I tell you, the person in racing who was always the nicest to me when I first came around the game was a guy named Ralph Theroux. Ralph Theroux Sr. His son worked with us for years at NYRA. But Ralph passed away a few years ago, and he was a contemporary of Alan Jerkins. And I met him when I was about 13 or so. And he was a great storyteller and he was one of the really great old timers of the game who knew a lot about the game. And over the years, next 30, 35 years of knowing him, spent a lot of time with him. He was a wonderful guy. He used to tell me great stories. I'd call him in the winter, and he'd tell me stories about racing. And I was a kid, I loved racing, and we mostly just had Saratoga, right? So he really was somebody who was a great influence in me in a very positive way.
How important is the men and women that wake up and do this job on the backstretch every day?
Well, they're the most important ones. I mean, if it wasn't for them, I would have to work for a living, and that would be terrible. They're everything. The people in the backstretch do everything for this game. They work tirelessly, 365 days a year, 366 in a leap year, and endlessly with the horses. And it's without their sacrifice and their hard work, the horses wouldn't be well cared for, and we wouldn't be able to be here and enjoy this. I wouldn't be able to work here. So they're everything to this game.
And a program like what I'm doing, what you think about this program?
You're like the hero of 2022 in racing. Everybody loves you.
Yeah.
So, and I agree. You're doing great stuff. So keep it up.